Hey there. Previously, I had put out a video on the 5 things that I hate about entrepreneurship. And the moment I put it out, I got some views, and a lot of people reached out to me saying that, hey, are you okay? How are you holding up? Is everything fine? Now, I have to say that I was very touched with the response. And obviously, the reason I made the video is because all the points that I mentioned was true. As a human being, negative things do affect one more deeply than positive ones. But I would also like to say that the journey of entrepreneurship is interesting. It's it's weird at times, but it is also extremely fulfilling. And so I wanted to share 5 things that I loved about entrepreneurship. The first one is creativity and innovation. I strongly believe that every person is creative, every person likes to do certain things, and every person has the capacity to be very good in one or more things that they like. Being in the field of entrepreneurship or having your own startup, you realize that you put yourself in a position where your skill sets, what you like, and your passion closely aligns with your professional livelihood. So that intersection of personal attitudes, personal skills, and personal creativity intersects quite deeply with what you work as well. And that is a very fulfilling thought for that. And so all your creativity in terms of how to handle people, uh, how to be a leader, how to build a product, how to deal with customers, it all comes together, and you kind of get a unique opportunity as a founder or as an early employee of a startup to exercise that creativity. Because you often see that in a lot of startups, people are expected to do different tasks. So for example, I'm a CEO, I'm no good in video editing, but in the early stages, I was the one who had to create the videos and who had to put together designs and stuff like that. And so I think it kind of gives an outlet for your creativity, and also forces your mind to be constantly innovative, because you're in a marketplace where you have other competitors, where you have customers that are evolving, and where you are in a situation where the world events are constantly changing and evolving. And so your creativity and innovation is at its peak. The second reason I love entrepreneurship is independence and control. And this goes directly with the thought of creativity and innovation that I said earlier. Of course, there are factors that determine your limits to which you can do, but the very fact that you have a sense that you are the master of your own destiny, you are building something that wouldn't have existed if you did not build it, and the fact that a lot of the progress of the organization and your team depends on your independence or the way that you make decisions. And so that fact of being able to put in an arena where you're the master of your own future is an amazing feeling, and that's one thing that I love about entrepreneurship. The third thing I like is the flexibility. And so when people think of working in an organization, they feel that, oh, I am restricted by my organization's policies, even if they don't agree with it. There are certain things that you can do, that you cannot do. There are certain number of leaves, for example, you can take while working. And so there are a lot of these rules that are inherently being a part of a large organization. And being a startup, you kind of have the flexibility to decide what's best for you and your team. You have the ability, uh, with inherently inbuilt thoughts that, even though you have all this flexibility, even if you choose to stop working for the next 2 months, if you want, you can do that. But because you're in a position, you have a sense of responsibility towards you and your team, and that flexibility, I think, is a fact that exists, which determines the success of your startup. And so I think that, but having that flexibility, working different hours, doing different things, traveling, and just making things happen, that is a great, great, great feeling to have. The fourth reason I love entrepreneurship is personal growth and development. Being a startup founder, or you would be very well positioned to do things that is way outside your comfort zone. And like I said, usually people are good at one or two things, but being in a startup, you have to do almost everything. You have to do everything from sales to marketing to product development to finance to fundraising to operations to hiring and firing to leadership. You have all these things all these decisions that you have to make, which indirectly or indirectly causes you to have a strong personal growth. It makes you identify what you're strong at, it makes you definitely identify what you're weak at, and you have to work on both. And I think having that environment to push yourself to be the better version of yourself every single day, because the decisions that you make is directly dependent on your personal growth, and those decisions determine the success or failure of the organization that you're trying to build. And finally, the thing that I love about entrepreneurship is the financial reward and impact. Now, in movies and TV shows and pop culture, you see founders of large organizations become multi-billionaires, young as billionaire, driving around in Lambos, having large amounts of wealth because of their thing. But I do believe that 99.9% of the startups, um, they do not engage or get into this arena to become rich. I strongly believe that, because if they do, I don't think they will succeed that often. But it is a byproduct of the value that you create in the world. And so when I came to this country, I had next to nothing. I did not have any money. I was still trying to figure everything out, and I did not know anyone over here. And hence, I had to pull myself by the bootstrap. And this environment of startups is what gave me the opportunity to do so. It gave me the opportunity to build a life, build a family, and be strong enough to show the value that I create, not just for me, but everyone in my team who I'm able to support, or who the company is able to support through salaries and wages and so on. So just having the thought that your skill set, your ability, and your um, persistence and merit will drive you to have a better life, better financial security, and impact on you and your family. I think that is an amazing opportunity that entrepreneurship provides. Granted, there is a huge risks involved in all of these as well. So those are the 5 things that I love about entrepreneurship. And like I said, love it or hate it, you chose it for yourself, and so you have to um, follow through, and every single day you learn something as well, and you have to push yourself, you have to push others, and it's just it's an interesting point in life. And I think it is a trajectory of my life personally that I would not regret. And sometimes I may be under a lot of stress, sometimes I may be under a high when something good happens, but regardless, I think it is for me extremely personally fulfilling, and I wouldn't have it any other way.